Welcome back to Folk Solo Sports Show. Alright, let's get right into it. NFL Week 9. Yeah, let's get into it. Alright. First up, we had the Packers beating on the 49ers. The game wasn't as close as it looked. I have another video about that talking about how the 49ers played good at the end of the game and wasn't taking all the risks they should have if they made it look like that they were trying to win. But the Packers shut this game out completely. It was not even close as it looks. Even though they got still half of their score, it wasn't even that close. Like, it really was like 34-3 in all reality. But the 49ers scored those two touchdowns at the end of the game. And the Packers now go to 6-2, one of my Super Bowl picks. And the 49ers go to 4-5. All right, we had the Texans beating the Jaguars. Probably put a smile on J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson's face right there. Not going 1-7 is what they made the Jacksonville Jaguars go. They're 1-7 now. Texans 2-6. Neither one of them looking like playoff teams. You never know, though. They could pick it back up and win every game for the rest of the season. Maybe the Texans can do that, but the Jaguars can't do that because they got to play the Steelers. So you know how that's going to go. And then we had the New York Giants. New York Giants getting a second win of the season. Congratulations to the Giants, man. I got to give them their props. I said that they wouldn't win, I think, more than 2 or 3 games. They're already on their second one of the season. Still got a long way to go. Things might get rough again for them. But they did beat the Washington football team, which is another disaster in the NFL right now. And the Washington football team goes to 2-6. And they started off 1-0, and it just fell apart all from there. They're 2-6 now. Giants go to 2-7. Score was 23-20. We got the Ravens beating the Colts the first time they came back. The first time the Ravens came back from being down, winning that game. All right. They had them beating the Colts 24-10. Ravens, after coming off that loss to the Steelers 28-24, they win this game. And it's 24-10, and Ravens go back to 6-2, still looking like one of my Super Bowl picks, looking like the third best team in the AFC. The Kansas City Chiefs, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Ravens third as far as the AFC. And then I will have to pick the Tennessee Titans for the fourth best team. All right, and Colts fifth, who they just beat. So the Colts go to 5-3. I think that will probably be the Colts' last loss against the Ravens. That's going to be the Colts' last loss until I think they play the Steelers. All right. So both of those teams still looking pretty good. We had the Lions losing to the Vikings. The Vikings is on fire, man. I don't know. Rob Parker might have been right as far as picking the Minnesota Vikings if they keep playing like this. They just beat the Green Bay Packers, one of my Super Bowl picks, and they just won another game against the Lions. The Lions aren't one of the worst teams either. They're okay. They're 3-5, but they were just 3-3 with a chance to, go positive in the season. But the Vikings said that's not happening around here, and the Vikings now go to 3-5 after just being, I believe, 1-5. They're 3-5 now, and there's still a bunch of games left. So they can, if they win every game or even only lose one more, they can go 10-6 or 11-5 still. And Rob Parker might have been right, and the Vikings might come back and, go to the playoffs the way it's looking right now. So hopefully the Vikings keep up that play style, and hopefully the Lions get back into where they were 2 weeks ago when they were 3-3. All right, we had the Titans beating the Bears. I give my props to the Titans. They were losing. They lost 2 games in a row. They were 5-0, lost to the Steelers, lost to the Bengals. I thought they were going to lose 3 games in a row because I said they wanted to be the best team, and even if they wanted to be the best team, and whoever won that game, them against the Steelers, both being 5-0, I said it probably put them in a bad mental state because they lost and they wanted to show that they were the best team in the AFC. So when they lost to the Steelers, it put them in a bad place. So that's the only reason that the Bengals beat them. If they beat the Steelers and they go 6-0 right there, they beat the Bengals and go 7-0, and then they beat the Bears too and go 8-0, and they're 8-0 right now instead of the Steelers. I believe the same exact way. They're 8-0 instead of the Steelers right now. If they would have won that game against the Steelers, being 5-0, so now they go to 6-2, looking pretty good. And then you got the Chicago Bears, and they're 5-4. I don't know where the Bears are going wrong here. It started off looked like one of the best Chicago Bears seasons in NFL history. They were, I think, started off 4-0, 4-0, 5-0, and then only had 1 loss, and now they're 5-4, just 1 game ahead. Like, that's terrible from a 4-0 or 5-1 start or something like that. So I don't know. They can still, change it around, win a lot of their games, go back to how they started off the season, but right now it's just not looking good. It's looking like they're going to continue to lose, man. And those first couple weeks of hard work isn't going to pay off. Maybe they just did too much and burned themselves out or something. So the Bears 5-4, Titans 6-2. All right, we had the Chiefs and the Panthers, okay? And this is where it gets weird because a lot of people just put the Chiefs over the Steelers by a landslide. And, and it's just crazy because they say, oh, the Steelers should have, like Stephen A., he said he's disappointed in the Steelers for how close of a game it was against the Cowboys. So that means everybody should be disappointed in the Chiefs. Of course, the Panthers are a better team than the Cowboys, but they're not that much better. And they still only lost to the Chiefs by 2 points. The Cowboys lost to the Steelers by 5 points. Okay? The Panthers are 3-6 now. The Chiefs go to 8-1. And I do think the Chiefs are better than the Steelers because they're the Super Bowl champions and they got a lot of confidence that comes behind their play. And I just think that helps them always pull through in these games and go 8-1. I think so. That's the reason I feel like they're still better because their confidence helps them win these games. And they say in the middle of the game, these guys aren't better than us. They still had a championship mindset, and that's what pulls them through. But they're not that much better than the Steelers because the Steelers are saying, on the other hand, they're saying we're the champions, but the Steelers are saying we would have been there if our quarterback didn't get hurt. Remember that. We're really the best team. We're just coming off a bunch of injuries. So, all right. So, I think it's a little bit. I think they're both better than the Ravens. I wouldn't say by a lot. I'll say by 5 points, the Steelers are better than the Ravens. And by 6.5 points, the Chiefs are better than the Ravens. And then by 1.5 point, the Chiefs are better than the Steelers. It doesn't get, Chiefs are way up here, Steelers are right here, and then the Ravens are right here. It's Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs. All right? So Who do we got next? All right. We got give me a moment. We got the Bills beating the Seahawks, man. The Bills, all the Buffalo Bills fans, they got to be proud right now. All Buffalo Bills fans got to be proud right now, man. 7-2, looking very good, man. Beating the Seahawks, and I know everybody is saying that the Seahawks defense is so terrible, and Russell Wilson has to try to pull out, miracles. Russell Wilson has to try to pull out miracles, but don't try to do that to try to sleep on what the Buffalo Bills are doing here. Like, they're killing the game right now. Like, they're one of the best teams. I said the Colts are the fifth best team in the AFC, and I'm wrong. They're the sixth best team in the AFC. The Bills are the fifth best team in the AFC behind the Titans. Okay? And the Seahawks their defense isn't doing too well, but they're doing good enough. They must be doing good enough. If I know they got 400 something yards getting put up on them or something like that, but they must be getting the stops more often than they have to if their team is still 6-2. So I think the Seahawks can straighten it up there. Russell Wilson, I know he probably would take some of the blame on that, throwing 2 interceptions. And, so, I mean, he threw for 390 yards, 28 of 41, not bad, but I know he still would take some of the blame for the 2 interceptions. And I think the Seahawks, this doesn't mean anything for them, like how I think some teams are going to start losing because they lost the game. Not for the Seahawks. They'll be right back in winning 4 or 5 games in a row after this. And, they'll continue to be the fourth best team in the NFC if it wasn't for their defense. If they had a better defense, they would be one of the top 3 Super Bowl picks, maybe at the number 2 spot. All right. So Seahawks 6-2, Buffalo Bills 7-2. Man, Buffalo Bills aren't playing around. I'm telling you, they trying to get back to them 90s Bills. They're trying to look like that, but their goal is to win the Super Bowl. Like, they want to win the Super Bowl. They ain't trying to get there 4 times in a row and lose. They trying to, put on the legacy out here for the Bills. I like that. All right. We had the Falcons. We had the Falcons. Falcons looking a lot better than what they did. I think they started off 0-5 or 0-6. They are 3-6 now. You would have never thought the Falcons go from 0-5, 0-6 to 3-6, and then at that beating the Broncos, who just look like they can sneak into the wild card playoffs, and they beat them 34-27. Good job to the Atlanta Falcons. They still got a long way to go, but that's a better sign of them winning 3 games after starting off really bad, 0-5. They're actually looking like one of the better teams in these last few weeks. Not the whole season, but these last few weeks, they look like they can beat a lot of the other teams that are struggling right now. All right. We had the Raiders beating the Chargers, and the Raiders are picking back up where they started at the beginning of the season. I was just saying how I'm disappointed in them for being 2-0 and then losing 2 games in a row. So now they're 5-3. They only lost 1 game, and then they've won 3. So beating the Chargers, who people saying that they think are going to go to the playoffs. I never thought that the Chargers were going to go to the playoffs, being that their fans are all still in San Diego. Like, even still coming to LA, how much LA loves sports, the Lakers, the Dodgers, the LA Kings, all of them. How much LA loves the sports teams. Nobody's just checking for checking for the football. And they already like the Rams because the Rams came right in and went to the Super Bowl. So the Chargers are just the lost cause at this point. I'm telling you, send that team back to San Diego. They're not getting no love there in Los Angeles. Like, it's a wrap, okay? It's a wrap. So they're 2-6, and I don't think this will get any better from here. I don't think this gets any better. I think they need to just get sent back to. I think they need to just get sent back to San Diego, and I think that team will start to have a lot more success again. So the Raiders 5-3, Chargers 2-6. All right, we had Tua. Yeah, my man Tua starting his second game in a row against Kyler Murray. Both teams 5-3 now. Tua just doing really good that game, man. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. 20 of 28 passes for 248 yards. Excuse me, this dude, man, he looks like a young Russell Wilson. I think if you talk to him, I think he will say he watched Russell Wilson and how he plays. And I think he is inspired by Russell Wilson. I also think Patrick Mahomes is too. I don't know if anybody's ever asked him that, what quarterbacks inspire him. But I think Russell Wilson inspired a lot of these inspired a lot of these younger quarterbacks. So the Dolphins going 5-3, Cardinals 5-3. That's good for both of these franchises. Both of these teams struggle a lot of years. Cardinals going to the Super Bowl 43 years ago. Kind of been struggling since, but I'm pretty sure the fans and everybody else are happy with the results that they're getting out of both of these teams right now. 5-3 for the Dolphins, 5-3 for the Cardinals, both looking like playoff contenders and even teams that can sneak up and probably beat. If they only got to play these teams one time, both of these teams look like they can sneak up and beat the best teams, which would be the Chiefs, the Steelers, or the Ravens, Titans on the AFC, and the Cardinals look like they could sneak up and beat the Saints, Buccaneers, Packers, or the Seahawks on the NFC. So they're both looking like very good teams, and good job to both of those teams. All right. I talked about this. Oh, no, wait. This is the Steelers versus the Cowboys. Close win for us. A win is a win, but I will say that I never liked all the work that the Steelers like putting in at the end of the game. Um, I've done this in my lifetime. Like in school, I always used to hurry up and do my work the last two semesters and get good grades just to pass. And it was a hassle. And it's just the same way with the Steelers. Like, you put so much stress on yourself at the end of the game, like I did in school. So much work that I got to get done in this amount of days, and I got to write this amount of essays and get this test aced and all of that, man. And the Steelers do the exact same thing on the field. They wait till the last minute to do good, and it's just not good for you playing, because it won't work when you come up against, a really good team like the Chiefs, the Buccaneers, the Ravens. It's not going to work when you come up against a team like that. Like if I had to, take a college test or something crazy, I wouldn't pass the test, because it just would have been too hard at that point. And that's what I'm afraid of happening to the Steelers. They're going to come up against a test that's too hard, to come back from, and one of those good teams. And it's going to be the cause of them losing a playoff game or even the Super Bowl if they make it there. But a win's a win. Steelers, first time ever going 8-0. Congratulations to the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. All the Steelers fans and everybody else that's repping the Steelers, around the world, man. Let's go. Yeah, all day. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? All day, man. That's all day. All right. But we don't discriminate around here. I got another video coming about the referees, and how they need to be disciplined like the players and the coaches. I feel like they do, because some of the plays and some of the things they call, even like in the in the Steelers versus Cowboys game, it wasn't even a question. Like, it was just obvious, and they had to like go. I don't know if like watching on the TV they get better angles. We'll talk about that later. I'm gonna get into that later, because that could go longer than was expected. All right, but we had the Saints losing to the Buccaneers. Like I said, I was very disappointed in Tom Brady. I don't think he's the GOAT, but I was disappointed in Tom Brady for not being Tom Brady in that Buccaneers game. And I'm not talking about for throwing the 4 interceptions, but I'm talking about for not doing all the screaming that he usually does. And, telling his teammates, you see him walking on the sideline, telling his teammates he effed up and stuff. Like, you need to keep that same energy when you're losing to your teammates and tell them you're going to do better. But you didn't do that, and you threw 4 interceptions. And yeah, it's not the Tom Brady that I'm used to seeing. And another thing I said about Tom Brady, another thing I like about him, I like, some people say that they don't like when he screams at his teammates. I like it, but I just feel like if you're going to do that, you need to do that all the time. Even when you're playing bad, even when you're losing, you need to, say to your teammates, hey, we going to get back in there. I effed up, man. Let's go back in here and get this done. Like, I don't see that. I didn't see that in him. And another thing is, I feel like he started giving up. He was just over there quiet on the bench, not saying nothing. Excuse me. I know he threw 4 interceptions, but he got to beat Tom Brady all the time. Like, that won the 6 Super Bowls, been to 9. He got to beat that Tom Brady all the time. And I just didn't see that in him, so I was disappointed in that. I don't think Antonio Brown should have had 39 snaps with only 2 practices. I think they got to get him in practice all day, every day, until the game day comes. And Antonio Brown, there's nothing to worry about with Antonio Brown. He's going to be even this week coming or next week, it's going to get crazy for everybody that has to play against them. It's not going to take long before Antonio Brown and Tom Brady start clicking. And it's not even because it's not like when two players are that good. When two players are that good. In basketball, it might take a little longer, but in football, when a really good quarterback gets a really good receiver, it doesn't take that long, because they can just read each other's minds. Like, even if the play goes south, they're gonna know what they got to do to connect, and that's what's gonna happen here soon with Antonio Brown and Tom Brady. Just watch. And congratulations, last but not least, are the Saints losing to the Saints beating the Buccaneers 30-3. Very bad. Buccaneers' second loss against the Saints this season. And I said that in my other video. If the Saints have to play the Buccaneers in the playoffs, the Buccaneers are done. They're not beating the Saints this season. The Saints are going to 3-0 them like the Steelers did years back against the Ravens when they went to the Super Bowl. That's the scenario, because the game just wasn't close at all. All right. And last but not least, congratulations to Cam Newton. I made that video too. That's a part of my last video. And I said that his career was on the line if he lost to the Jets. If he gave the Jets their first win and put them at 1-8 instead of continue to have them losing and put them at 0-9, I said that Cam Newton's career would have been done. So it's a good thing he beat that team that has no wins, and he kept that going, because it wouldn't have been pretty he already had a tough time. I know at the time that the Panthers let him go, he didn't have too many options, but it's still Cam Newton. And it's not saying that it's Cam Newton, but his injuries, his skill isn't, that's not even a question. But the injuries, he already had a hard time getting the team to pick him up. The Patriots did, and they're 3-5 now, and they played a good game. But um, the Jets winning their first game against them, it would have been bad. But Cam Newton pulled it off and continued to put them on their losing streak. They can be somebody else, but it's just a good thing that it wasn't against Cam Newton, or I don't see him. I don't know if ever playing again, but definitely not starting like Max Kellerman said. Maybe even though not playing, like because I know he wanted to start, but people weren't even putting out propositions as picking him up as a backup quarterback. So, like, I don't know, maybe never again, but he did it. He got it done, and that's what matters. Congrats to Cam, to the Patriots, 3-5. And this is Folk Solo Sports Show. We get back with y'all for more week 10 of 17 in the NFL, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Like, subscribe. I get back with y'all. Peace.